Hi, I'm Bob, the Mortgage Coach Mitchell, and we're working on glossary terms again today. We're in the T's. We're down to total expense ratio, otherwise known as the back end ratio. Basically, when you go to buy a house and get a mortgage, there are two ratios that we look at: that debt to in what they call debt to income ratios. Okay, basically, there's the front end ratio, which is your total housing expense divided by your gross monthly income. Okay, that's your front end ratio. Okay, your total expense ratio, which is what this glossary term is your housing expense plus any monthly bills that you make that would show up on a credit report. Okay, child support, separate maintenance would count, but MasterCard, Visa, American Express, car notes, student loans, anything that you make a monthly payment on that would show up on a credit report generally. Um, if you make a monthly payment on it, like utility bills don't count, but if there's something that might not show up in your credit report, like a private loan or maybe a small loan from your employer or something, you should include that in on your total expense ratio. But it's basically your housing expense plus your monthly payments divided by your gross monthly income. That gives us your back end ratio or total expense ratio. Now, the guidelines, depending on which program you're talking about, in conventional, the guidelines are 28% for the front end ratio and 36% for the back end ratio is what we're eyeing to keep it below. Now, in government loan programs such as FHA, there's a lot more flexibility. I think my record to date on a FHA is like 58% on the back end ratio. So obviously, there's a little bit of leeway. Now, on that particular thing, everything was there were some compensating factors, and the credit was good, the job stability was good. Some of the debts were going to be going away pretty shortly. So anyway, but the total expense ratio is that your total expenses, including your housing expense, divided by your gross monthly income. That gives us the back end ratio, which is a guideline that we go by, not a rule. Anyway, I'm Bob, the Mortgage Coach Mitchell. Now let's put you into a house.